US-Venezuela tensions boil over as Washington cracks down on Maduro's inner circle. Things between the US and Venezuela just hit a new peak. Washington officially labeled the so-called Cartel de los Soles, a group it claims is tied to top Venezuelan officials, as a foreign terrorist organization. That's a huge step up in pressure on President Nicolás Maduro. People are already talking about the risk of a real conflict brewing in the Caribbean. This move gives US agencies a lot more muscle. They can slap on tougher sanctions, freeze assets, and go after anyone they think is connected to the cartel. US officials claim the group is at the heart of massive drug smuggling rings targeting the states. They say this crackdown is long overdue and the only way to shake up what they call a state-enabled criminal system. Venezuela didn't waste time firing back. Leaders there slammed the decision, calling it flat-out political aggression. They say the US is making up stories so it can meddle in the region, and that the cartel is just a convenient fiction for Washington to push its own agenda in Latin America. Mass mobilization and military posturing now. With all this tension, the US just sent a big chunk of its military into the Caribbean. We're talking an aircraft carrier, destroyers, fighter jets, the works. Sure, Washington claims it's all about stopping drug traffickers, but experts are looking at the sheer size of this deployment and wondering if something bigger is brewing. Venezuela isn't sitting still either. Maduro put tens of thousands of troops on alert, moved military units and air defenses to the coasts and borders, and keeps showing up at rallies promising to defend Venezuela no matter what. He's accusing the US of trying to pull off another regime change. With all this hardware in the same waters and skis, accidents feel almost inevitable. Drones, jets, and warships are getting dangerously close. Security analysts warn that one wrong move could light the fuse for something a lot bigger. Travel disruptions and regional jitters. Airlines aren't taking any chances. Several have cancelled flights to Venezuela, too worried about the instability and safety risks. Aviation officials across the region are telling pilots to stay sharp around Venezuelan airspace. There's just too much unpredictable military activity right now. Neighboring countries are getting nervous. Governments across Latin America are calling for calm, worried that if this escalates any further, it could throw the whole region into chaos. Political leaders and humanitarian groups warn that a real conflict could spark mass migration, deepen Venezuela's economic mess, and spill over into neighboring countries. But so far, neither side is backing down. The US keeps insisting Maduro's government is rotten with corruption and crime. Caracas keeps firing back, saying all these accusations are just a cover for US intervention. What happens next? Now that the terrorist label is official, the US has all sorts of options, from even tougher sanctions to possible secret or military operations. Analysts think this opens the door to actions Washington couldn't take before. Venezuela, meanwhile, is trying to project strength and unity, but the reality is tough. The economy is in shambles, the country's divided, and its military is no match for US firepower. Diplomats are worried. If nobody blinks, this could drag on for a long time and pull in the whole region. Trust between the US and Venezuela is basically gone, and leaders around the Caribbean are scrambling for a way out. Everyone's watching to see what happens. What started as a fight over alleged cartels has turned into a real geopolitical standoff, one that could shape the Americas for years to come.